What's up, guys? Welcome back to Veteran Aquatics. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to go over the plans for the new fish room. I did finally get the contractor to come out, and it looks like we're going to be able to move forward. So I wanted to walk you guys through really quick and kind of give you an in-depth look and an in-depth idea about what my intentions are with the space that I have. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in a minute. So first things first, I wanted to talk about this room before we actually go out into what is going to be the fish room, because most people, they'll do a fish room in their basements, and I'm not going to do that. We had the couple that we bought this house from left us that awesome pool table, sticks, balls, triangle, everything, so that's staying down here. But you know me, I will sneak fish tanks in where I can. So there is my, I think it's a 36-gallon bow front that has my small green shoulder severum, a couple of the baby bandit cichlids, and a couple of small geophagus. I do want to put in a fish tank. Now, I'm between a couple of different sizes. I don't want to ruin the area near the pool table. I don't want sticks hitting tanks, stuff like that. But I do want bigger fish tanks. The bow front is nice, but I want something bigger. So I was thinking probably a 55 would be best. The foot width, but the 4-foot length is nice. I won't be able to put anything enormous, none of my huge cichlids in there, but it can serve as a nice grow out tank, or maybe even something like an angelfish tank. So definitely looking at doing that, maybe one or two. Maybe I'll do a really nice planted tank, maybe I'll do rainbow fish, who knows. If you guys have any ideas as to what you would put down here in the pool room, let me know down below in the comments. Now, let's go ahead and go out to the fish room. These are my dogs. The small one is Penelope, and the big dopey looking one is Athena. They are very good dogs, and very cute, as you can see by her rolling over. That was actually supposed to be a Rottweiler puppy. Yeah, clearly she's a Chihuahua something. But we're here to talk about fish, and the fish room as it is gonna be. So, this is a 17.5 by 21 foot garage. It is attached to the house. It is very well insulated, and that makes it a lot easier than using the detached garage, which is not. Keeping the heat in and heating the room is something I'm very adamant about this time around, just to save on electric costs. And with the sheer amount of tanks I have, putting individual heaters in over 40 tanks is not the way to go economically. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look, and I'll explain area by area what we're going to do. So first is this garage door. Ideally, we will convert this into a year-round room, which can just be added onto the square footage of the house. To do that, we do need to remove this garage door and put in a wall. Alright, so then we are going to put a set of double doors over there, probably 6 foot wide. That way it's still easy to get in and out with large tanks and large stands. But, we gained the whole wall where the garage was. We'll take that window and probably another one and put over there. Next, there are only 3 electrical outlets in this entire room. And that is not going to fly. So we're going to add probably 10 to 12 outlets all around the room. Different levels varying. Probably, 2 chest height, 2 knee height on each wall. Next, we have to finish this. As you can see, it's been insulated, but we do have to finish the ceiling, so sheetrock will go up, and everything will get painted nicely. I was thinking about doing kind of a gray, white, and black. Since all the stands are going to be black, most of the fish tanks are black, most of the backgrounds are black. I was thinking probably like gray paint on the walls. Probably do white on the ceiling just to keep that space. And that is going to be changed over to a trap door type attic so we don't lose the storage. Right, the door will go in that corner, as we won't be able to use that corner because of the ladder anyway, to maximize the space, which pretty much gives me all of this area up to the door and this whole wall here and everything that's not immediately next to the electrical panel. So the floor, that's another thing. So this is a concrete garage floor, which means it's sloped to allow water to go out. The problem with a sloped floor is you can't put fish tanks on it because it's not level. So one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to self-level the floor with concrete, and I'm just going to leave it concrete, or we are going to raise the floor about 7 inches to match the floor in the rest of the house. That way the room is completely converted over, and you know, it's an attached room that adds to the square footage of the house, possibly to be qualified as an additional bedroom. In terms of home sales, more bedrooms is better. So that's kind of that general idea. So next, where are the tanks going to go? Well, I want to put all of my big tanks along this when it gets converted back into a wall. I want to do this to consolidate them, and I want to do it to have a huge kind of a viewing area of just the bigger tanks and the bigger fish. That way, you know, I can stream in front of that, I can record in front of that. I think it'll just be nice that way. Next is this wall, so I'll probably leave the area immediately next to the electrical panel alone. Maybe I'll build a shelving unit over there. But over here, I kind of wanted to do 20 gallons. The 20 gallons will be used primarily as grow out tanks and for breeding tanks for maybe smaller fish. But I figure I could probably, if I triple stack them, I could probably fit like 24 just in that area. So 24 20 gallons as grow outs and fry tanks. Along this wall, I want to do a rack of 40 breeders. Now, I have quite a few 55s as well, so I'll probably do 1 or 2 stands of 55 gallons and then the rest 40 breeders, or I will use this wall for the 55s. So I get the one wall with double stacked 125s probably. I get this wall with 40 breeders. I get this wall with 55 gallon tanks. And then I get this wall with 20 gallons, 10 gallons, stuff like that. It'll probably be miscellaneous. Now, this room is 17.5 feet wide, which means even with 20 gallons over there and 55s behind me, there is still something like 14 feet of space in between, which means I can go down the middle and create, I'll probably do 2 racks, just kind of to give us more space to maneuver and, you know, ease of use. So I don't know what I'm going to make those racks, maybe 75s on one of them, maybe more 125s because I do keep a lot of bigger fish. Maybe I'll do more 40 breeders. Maybe I'll put the 125s over there and over there, and then I'll do 40 breeder racks down the middle. That could work too, and that would actually end up being pretty nice. I could probably fit 3 40 breeder racks down the center. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of hardware fish tanks. Next is filtration. So I've said it over and over again in my past videos, and I know it felt like I was never going to move. Trust me, it felt like that for me too. But we're going to do a central air system. So I intend on getting a linear piston air pump, maybe 2, and we're going to run a PVC loop around the room and 2 down the center for the 2 center racks. We are then going to, we're going to have to put the little adapters on the PVC for the airline tubing. We'll use nickel-plated fittings for that. That way we can just run sponge filters in just about everything. I do have canister filters, I do have hang-on-the-back filters, and those are still going to get used, but the primary focus is going to be sponge filters just for economical purposes. I'll either build all my own or I'll order them from Aquarium Co-op. I love their sponge filters. They're very good, they're not, they're cheaper than most, and they work very well. So that's going to be the main filtration for this, is just a PVC loop around with a linear piston air pump. Next, we have to talk about water changes. So the more and more I look into it, and the more and more I do research on it, the more and more it seems like an enormous pain to do auto water changes. Yes, auto water changes make life easy, especially with the sheer amount of fish tanks I have. Fortunately, I'm not super lazy, so I probably will not do it. And I will not do it just because I don't want to drill all my tanks. I know there are ways to do it with hang-on-the-back overflows and stuff like that, but I really don't want to get into that. And the risk of having something bad happen increases a lot with something like that. So my intention is to just get a water line run into this room, preferably hot and cold. If not, just cold will suffice because the room will be heated at all times. I can bring in a 275-gallon IBC tote and keep that full of water so it's always up to temperature when I do water changes. I will probably hook a power head up to a python and just drain it out of the tank that way. It'll suck water pretty fast. It shouldn't take too long. A couple hours in here and I'll be done. I did see when I was at Josh's fish room, he has a big cart with really big drums on it, and he drains the water into that. And he just kind of pushes it along down the aisles, sucks the water out, and then dumps them when he's finished. That caught my eye, and that may be something that we do in the future, along with the IBC tote full of temperate water. I do want to keep discus at some point, so aged water is a great thing. This will allow me to keep quite a bit of it on hand. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. If you guys have like a really good way of doing an auto water change system that you don't think that I might have seen that doesn't require drilling a tank, let me know. But the ones that I have seen don't really work for me, and I don't really like the way that they turn out and the risk that you have for failure. So yeah, the wall's all gray, sheetrock done up top, a new floor, lots and lots of new electrical outlets, that garage door replaced, and I'm gonna get pothos, right? Because ideally I'll have all the tanks around a similar level and nice built racks. So I'll just grow pothos around all of them. Scott has it in his fish room, and Susie from Q's Aquatics has it in her fish room, and I just really like the way it looks. The natural look of all the plants, in the fish room with the natural scapes of the tanks with the driftwood and the rocks and the plants looks really awesome, and I think it's something that I'm going to do as well. There's a reason that a lot of folks do it. The pothos sucks up a lot of nitrates, right, which is great for your fish tanks, and it looks good on top of it. It grows like crazy, especially in fish tank water. It's got all that extra fertilization from the fish waste and the food waste, and it does a really nice job of growing the plants. So that's kind of it for the plans, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know if you have any improvements upon the ideas that I had, because when I build this, I want to build the best fish room possible. I want to build the most epic fish room that I have the capability and the monetary power to build. So if you have a better idea, please, by all means, let me know. I'm always open to new ideas, especially when I'm doing something as large and as big of an undertaking and as important as this. So that's it, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.